Can you guys hear that? That's my shower dripping. Weird. What is your biggest... Oh, I hate that. You guys could totally hear that, right? Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Annalise, and today we are doing Q&As with A. Mowgli's here with me, and we are going to be answering some questions that I asked you. I haven't looked at these questions at all. I haven't read them yet, so this is completely on the fly, on the spot. Okay, let's get started. First question. What would you do for a career if you weren't in a band? I love animals, so I think if I wasn't in a band, I would probably do something for animals. Maybe be a vet or have a rehabilitation center. I don't know. Something with animals. Something. Because that's the only thing that I think I love almost as much as I love music. Out of all of you, who has traveled the most? I think we've all traveled an equal amount. A lot of the traveling that we've done has been with each other. We've been to the UK, we've been to Germany and Turkey. We've also been to Italy together. So we've done a lot of traveling with one another. Outside of that, you know, we each have gone to different places in the US that the others have never gone to. But I mean, yeah, pretty equal, I'd say. What is your biggest insecurity? My height. I'm quite little. I'm quite small. And I wish I was just a little taller. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, but I'm trying to embrace that. I'm trying not to think of that as a negative thing, but yeah. Sorry, I got really shy about that. I'm sorry. Okay, next question. What was the inspiration for the band name? Well, some of you might not have been here for this, but we used to be called Glowco. We really wanted to change. It was like a new chapter in our lives, and we kind of grew out of that name. But we didn't know what we wanted to change it to, and we spent so much time trying to agree on something. So we just picked a few names that we liked, and we asked our fans to vote on them, and IMY2 was one of those. It means I miss you too, and we felt like that really, it resonated with all of us because we travel a lot, and at the time, that's all we were doing. We were living in Germany, away from our families. We say I miss you too a lot. So it was kind of fitting, and that's why it got onto that list, and then our fans chose it. And now we're IMY2. Next question. What difference in music taste do the three of you have? A lot, but also a lot of similarities. We all love Tom Petty, the Beatles, classics like that, Fleetwood Mac. But then, you know, I have really pop taste. I love like Taylor Swift and Britney Spears, whereas the boys, you know, they love more like rock and roll, things like Steely Dan, the Rolling Stones, and they both love Pink Floyd, and I wasn't really exposed to a lot of that kind of music. I grew up listening to country, so I know a lot of country music, and I have shared that with them in the past few years. Actually, funny story, Cal actually showed me the Beatles. I never really was introduced to the Beatles. I knew who they were, but I never really listened to their music, if I'm being entirely honest, and I introduced them to Michael Jackson. So yeah. Would you ever consider doing a show for added exposure? For example, The Voice. No, I wouldn't. It's just really not my style. I feel like those shows are more about the show itself, and I know that TV, they have ratings to keep up with, and they need to do well. So I feel like a lot of it is like scripted to be marketed properly, and it's not really about the music. It's about the TV. So it's just not something I'm really interested in. I know some people that have done it and they loved it, and good for them. That's cool, but it's just like not my journey. What do you like better, sunrises or sunsets? Well, I'm not really a morning person. I do believe that sunrises are a little bit more beautiful, but I don't like waking up super early, so sunsets are usually more my type. Specifically a summer sunset. I really like a warm southern summer night. That was a lot of S's. A warm southern summer sunset. Yeehaw. What's something you've always wanted to try but haven't? Okay, have you heard of like squid ink spaghetti. Anybody heard of that? It's like a delicacy, and it's just like squid ink on pasta. I would like to try that. That sounds weird, but it sounds good for some reason to me. And I love food. I like trying new food, so that's what I would want to do. I like this question. What was the most memorable gift you've ever received? And I have a really perfect example for this. Like 4 years ago, when my dad passed away, it was a really awful time, as you would imagine. When I got back home to Nashville after dealing with everything in Virginia, there was this journal in my room waiting for me. Travis, you guys remember Travis, our sound engineer? He's been in our lives for a long time now, and he's been a great friend of ours. And he got this journal, and he brought it around to all of my friends and had them write little notes in it for me to remind me that I was special and that they were here for me. So yeah, it was very nice. It was very kind. It was like the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me, and I'll never forget that. How often do you have to dye your hair to keep it that color? So obviously you can see now, like, I need to dye it. You can see my roots all the way down to here. I'm trying not to bleach it really at all because I'd like it to grow, which is working. It is getting really nice and long, which is what we want. So the blue stays for a long time. I also use Good Dye Young, which is an incredibly pigmented product. I do it probably every month and a half to 2 months. I go for as long as I'm comfortable with, you know. I try to push it. Like right now, like this kind of bothers me, the way it's kind of looking a bit streaky. However, like I said, I want my hair to grow, so I'm trying to like go as long as possible without dyeing it at the moment. What inspires your fashion choices, especially in music videos? Fashion's fun. It's a good way to express yourself. I like to be loud and different and unique. You know, I like to be a little sexy sometimes. I like to be colorful, but I also like to be classy and approachable, and I like to feel comfortable in the things that I'm wearing, both like mentally and physically. Yeah, I mean, I like to get funky with it. I like to get creative with it. It's so much fun. I think it's cool to just like dress the way you feel. When/how did you realize that you were bi? For me, it was honestly a few years ago. I'd say maybe 5-6 years ago. I was in a really long-term relationship with someone, and I had my own curiosities and confusion within me at that time, and the relationship wasn't really working out. It ended up not working out. That wasn't the reason, but during that relationship I started to consider that this could have been a part of me. Now, I grew up in a conservative home. At one point in my life, I was Mormon as a child, so it was very difficult for me to accept that part of me. And I struggled with it for a long time, and I didn't speak to anyone about it for a long time. As I started to become more and more independent, I started to accept that part of myself, and I realized that it was completely okay for me to be bisexual. I feel like for the most part, it was me not giving myself permission. The first people that I told were my bandmates, and they accepted me, and they supported my decision to label myself. If you didn't know, now you do. And yeah, it's just a part of me. It's who I am. It's who I've always really been. I think on some level I always knew that I was, but it just took me a long time to accept myself, and I do now. It's great. I'm out, and I'm proud, and I'm very happy to say that that's true. What is your most irrational fear? I deal with some post-traumatic stress, and I have severe death anxiety. I'm working on it, and I'm getting much better, but I do have some very sad and dark thoughts that sometimes follow me around, and they're irrational. Most of them are completely irrational. So, but I deal with that, and it's okay. It's something that I have dealt with for many years, and it used to be much worse than it is, and it's getting better by the day. I'm doing fine. So, yeah. Any meanings behind your tattoos? Absolutely. So this one is my dad's handwriting, and there are 4 forget-me-nots, one for each of my family members. There's 4 people in my family, and yeah, this is my dad's handwriting. It says be brave even when you may not feel brave. And he actually wrote a letter to my mom in 1991 when he was in the Persian Gulf War, and my mom was pregnant with my brother. So he wrote like pages and pages of life advice for his unborn children, and this was one of the pieces of advice. Where am I from? I am from Richmond, Virginia originally. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's fun when I get to hang out with you like this. Thank you for sending in questions. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I answered them as best as I could. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon so you can be notified every time we post a video. We post videos every Friday. My name is Annalise, and I'll see you guys next time.